Hello everyone, this is James Song here. Welcome back to the TOEFL show. As you see on the screen, we are covering TOEFL writing question 2 type of question, writing for an academic discussion. So let's go. So as you can see on the screen, on the left-hand side, there is an instruction and also the question we need to write about. And on the right, we get to actually see two answers from two other students. So the logic of this question is that there is a question, and this is a notice board, and you are adding your own opinion on this notice board, okay? So let's quickly look at the instruction. If you have been watching my video for my previous TOEFL writing question 2, then you would have already learned what to do. But let me be brief. Still, let's not totally skip the introduction. So your professor is teaching a class on business, so your question will be based on business subject in university. So your task is write a post, something like this, right? It's an online post. So it's not a formal essay in any means, right? So write a post, something like this, responding to the professor's question, okay? So in your response, you should. So you need to achieve this criteria to get the good score, high score, and the perfect score I'm trying to demonstrate through this video lecture. So express and support your opinion. So as it says, so type of question will allow you to express your own opinion. So quite often when you are writing this task, many students unconsciously, instinctively worry and think about what should be the answer and what should be the reason. That's where a lot of students go wrong. You have to think that I am allowed to create my own answer and create my own reasons, okay? So you can give your own subjective answer. So express your opinion and support it. So make it logical or make it persuasive. I'll show you exactly how you can do that in the easiest and the best way to get the perfect score, all right? I always say this, the secret formula is create a structure, what I call what, why, how. That's all you have to do, right? Just like speaking question 1, all right? If you have been watching my videos already, nothing different, okay? Structure-wise, contents-wise, we're going to do exactly the same as speaking question 1, all right? And make a contribution to the discussion. So let me explain this in an easier term and explanation for you, so you understand what you need to do. Make a contribution. So make some kind of addition and add value to this existing discussion. Because you can already read two answers from two different students, it is possible to just use this idea or use some idea against this idea and kind of copy paste in a way without adding your own opinion, right? So what does it mean by make a contribution to the discussion? Means you must add your own contents in order to add some value to this discussion. Don't just copy and paste. Don't just paraphrase. That's cheating. You cannot do that. You need to add your own contents. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it means. Okay. An effective response will contain at least 100 words. So don't be overly tricked by this instruction. It says at least, so minimum word count this test is suggesting. I mean, even the shortest possible answer you write, you should write over 100 words to get a good score. But maximum word count doesn't exist. So technically, you could easily write 150 to even 200 words. Using my structure, and you will get the perfect score. You will be able to get the perfect score, I should say. And my template, my structure will always end up, if the answer is quite short, around 135, 125 words to 185 or even 200 words. So somewhere in between 135 to 170 or 80 words. That's my answer usually. Okay. It always comes out around that word count. So that's done. All right. So let's read the question. Dr. Diaz, business professor, to sustain, to keep a prosperous, going well, successful, abundant business. So keep a thriving business, keep a good business, both customer retention, so keeping your customer, not losing your customer, okay? And new customer acquisition. Acquisition means like attaining, acquiring, getting, buying. That's acquire, get, all right? Attain or buy. So getting new customers are both significant, okay? So to keep a successful business, both strategy, keeping your existing customers and going out to the market and getting new customers, both strategies are both important. Some say keeping loyal customer, your existing current customer, is the key to the business success. So number one strategy is the key. However, others argue that acquiring new customers, rather than just keeping your existing customer, going out to the market and attracting, gaining new customers is more important, is the bigger key to the success. All right. Okay. So some says keeping your existing customer, this strategy is more important to keep a successful business. Others say more important strategy is finding and getting new customers. Okay. All right. So question is obvious. What do you think? Okay, closed question, typical closed question, exactly like TOEFL speaking question 1. So I should take a pick, right? I think strategy number 1, customer retention, keeping your existing customers and keep selling to them is more important strategy to sustain a prosperous business. No, I think attaining, acquiring new customer is more important strategy to keep a prosperous business if I have to choose one. Okay. So which strategy should be prioritized? So you have to pick one over the other. You need to prioritize. Prioritize means, as you know, keeping, choosing one as more important than the other. Okay. Prioritize for companies to continue to thrive, continue to be a success, continue to do well. Okay. Choose one strategy. It's very straightforward. Sometimes TOEFL kind of just say to you, and you need to choose one, but they don't say this and emphasize this directly. But thanks to this question, it gives you a very direct repetition and say, make sure you choose one. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good score. Okay, so choose one over the other and explain why. Okay, so I want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, this question, if you think about it, if you think deep about it, it is a very extreme and somewhat even overly generalized question. If you think about it, even if you have no clue about the business as a university subject, of course, you have to do both. You have to do both well, and you cannot just do one and not do the other. It's a matter of a mix, marketing mix. Maybe you decide to do the first strategy 60%, 55%, 70%, and the second strategy 40%, 45%, or 30%. In real life, this is a very extreme scenario. You're not going to just do one and not do the other one, but accept the question. TOEFL speaking question 1 and TOEFL writing question 2 is purposely making this kind of like an extreme situation to create a question for the test. Okay? So go with it. Like, don't ever do things like, I don't think it's a good idea to choose one over the other, because in reality, you should do both well for your business to succeed. It's a matter of how much you do it. It's about how you create the marketing mix. Don't say that. You are not going to get the good score because you are not answering the question, unfortunately. You may be right and very smart and very clever in real life, but you are not answering the question directly. So the test maker cannot give you any good score. It's not possible. So I know it's awkward, but they are doing this in purpose. So just accept it. They're kind of showing their hands to shake your hands, and you must shake it because you are a test taker. You don't have a choice. All right. So let's have a quick peek at the two other students' answer. And since this is a closed question, not an open question, so hopefully it's easier, very direct, and hopefully we can get plenty of hints from other students' answers. Okay. What I mean by closed question, as I already explained multiple times in my other videos, you are not really creating an answer. Answer is already given to you, and you're just choosing. Like, which fruit do you prefer, apple or banana? You're not really creating your answer. You just need to choose apple, or you just need to choose banana. And the real game starts only when you need to start thinking about why, like the reason and how, explanation. Okay? So that's closed question. Just like TOEFL speaking question 1. All right. Kelly, businesses should focus on customer retention. Very direct. Thank you. So Kelly think strategy 1 is more important than strategy 2. I believe it is more cost effective, means it's a business language. Cost effective means it costs less. It costs less money or cheaper to retain, keep existing customer than to attract new ones. So for business, I mean, it's a common sense. Even if you don't have a lot of knowledge about business as a subject, how business make money? They need to sell product or services, so they get the sales called revenue, the money from the customers, and you need to minus what you spend on to run the business. We call that cost. Okay, so revenue minus cost is, as you know, profit. Ching ching, right? So if you are making more sales or same amount of sales, and if your cost is lower, then it's good for the business, right? So it's saying that customer retention is more important because when you're making a sales, it costs less to sell existing customer than trying to sell it to new customers. So it's more beneficial. Probably you're going to make more profits. Okay. This is because why? Why is it cheaper to sell it to current customers? Marketing will be required to attract new customers. Okay. So this means they don't know us. They haven't bought from us. So we need to attract the customers and we have to do some marketing. We need to do some advertising, or we need to let some people know about our product and services. They are not going to come to me naturally because they don't know who we are as a business, right? So if you want to attract new customers, you have to do marketing or more marketing. So it's going to be more expensive. So retaining, keeping existing customer, you don't have to do marketing. They already know us. They are already buying from us. So it's going to cost less. So that's why we should focus on customer retention. Okay. And it is more expensive. Yeah. Additionally, plus current customers are they already know with the customer's products and services. So the company doesn't need to spend much on advertising. It's explaining what he already said. It's not really a new reason. Okay. It's trying to explain what he said deeper and further, which I explained already. Okay. So to take notes, Kelly think customer retention is a better strategy, more important strategy, because it's going to cost less to do this than trying to win new customers. Because existing customers know us already, so we don't need to do marketing, or we only need to do less marketing. Okay. I don't know that's right, but we'll talk about it later. Okay. And new customer means it's new. They don't know us. So we need to do more marketing, which means we need to spend more money to make sales. So it's less cost effective, this one, and it's more cost effective, this one. So we should go for customer retention strategy. Okay. All right, cool. Understood. I'm not sure I agree with Kelly, but I can understand why she thinks that way. That's all you have to do. If you do that successfully, you're going to get the good score, if not the perfect score every time. Please, please, please don't get stuck by keep getting confused like, oh, is this the right answer? Is this the wrong answer? There's no such things, okay? There's no such thing as the right and wrong answer, okay? Your answer is the right answer if you support it well and made good contribution to the discussion. And your answer is not wrong, never wrong, but not a very good one if you cannot support it well and you didn't really contribute well to this discussion. Okay? All right. Let's read Paul. Try to get more hint. I disagree with Kelly that businesses should rely solely on a customer retention. Very clever. Bit cheeky. I'm not sure whether I recommend this or not. I'm not sure whether this is a minor detail, minor point. So just listen to this as an additional point at your leisure. This is not important point, but let me start with something minor. I'm not sure Kelly said should rely solely means only on a customer retention. See what Paul is doing here? So he's trying to make his argument persuasive by not wrongly, but exaggerating a little bit. Okay. So Kelly says business should focus on or focus more on customer retention. She never really said business should rely only on an existing customer. Kelly didn't really said that. So, Paul is a bit cheeky, but trying to be persuasive by exaggerating a little bit. Okay. But anyway, all right. So why does Paul think that? I think gaining new customer can be a powerful way for a company to succeed. Okay. It's a repetition. Why? Because it's reputation. Reputation is how customer think about the company. Okay. Reputable means customer think very highly of the business. So, maybe Apple is a very reputable company. Amazon is a very reputable company. They have a good reputation. Okay. Highly regarded in the market by the customers. Okay. So the reason is company's reputation can be enhanced, can be improved, can be increased through new customers' positive word of mouth referral, of course. Okay. So it's something additional because it's new. You are adding new customers, new positive review, new positive referral to the market. So you are adding something. If it was a 0 or 1, because you have existing customer, you are adding something new. So you are adding your reputation. Okay. In this case, Paul is very, very specific and detailed in his answer. He jumps into detail, which I don't particularly like 100%. You should kind of stream it. You should kind of drill down to detail one by one to make your writing better, more persuasive. Okay. But he's jumping to the detail, focusing on one point. When you get this new customer, they would, or they will say some good things to other people. So new customer could give some positive words, verbal recommendation to their peers, to their friends, to their family and surrounding. Okay. So you are actually getting additional marketing for free. Okay. From the new customers. So new customers bring in more new customers, hopefully more new customers give more referrals and gives more new customers. That's what Paul is saying essentially. So this is very good for the business because it will do more marketing for the business and company's image, company's reputation can be improved by these new customers' recommendation to other people. Okay. Therefore, the new customer will help the company gain an advantage over its competitors to become more successful. Okay. So let's exaggerate once again. Let's make it extreme. Let's say the company is keep getting new customers. It's positive cycles. Okay. Talking about the products to more new customers and on and on and on and on and on. And let's say its competitors do not bother getting new customers, but only selling to the current customers, then you are not going to get that additional word of mouth referral. You are not going to get that additional marketing effect. Okay. Recommendation. So, of course, business that is keep acquiring new customers will become more successful. What is more successful in business? Very simple, making more money. More specifically, making more profit. Okay, as I said, revenue, overall sales, all the money you earn from sales minus what you spend to run the business, investment, spending, whatever. Okay, so more successful simply means companies making more money, making more profit. Okay, all right, so I think it's very comprehensive. We understood the question, we understood the instruction, we understood what we need to do, and also we got to get a quick peek at the two answers that is already provided as a part of the question. So next step, of course, we'll start with the blank screen and we will decide our answer. And to get to the final answer, we need to do brainstorming. We need to plan, structure, and develop our answer. So next step, as we always do, we'll do idea generation by note-taking our answer. All right, blank screen. Let's go. All right, so the question is to keep a successful company, to keep company successful, which strategy should be prioritized? Which one should you put more importance? Okay, so one is customer retention, which means focus on keeping existing customers. And another strategy we should think about is to acquire new customers. Okay, so which one should we prioritize, right? So yeah, I'm going to go with this. Please keep in mind that this is not, number one strategy is not wrong. Okay, so maybe reason is it would cost less, so it's more cost effective. Okay, we need like loyal fan base to the business to keep making sales. Okay, and there may be many other reasons. All right, I'm not saying my answer is the better answer, but this one is quite easy for me subjectively because it's nothing to do with business. It has something to do with business, but I'm trying to say it's not a very sophisticated, like really difficult business management question. It's a common sense, right? So both strategies are important, okay? But which one is more important for a company to be more successful? So what does it mean by company to be more successful? Make more money, okay? So how can this be achieved? Make more sales. And if you can, reduce your cost, okay? But first and foremost, one thing you cannot get away with, when you consider a company to be successful is it's a common sense. You have to sell more product or services that the company is offering. In order to do that, which one is more important? I mean, let me be very extreme to make my point clear and perhaps hopefully logical. We should do both, but let's say we can only do one and completely abandon the other. In order to make more sales, if we only do first strategy, is it even physically possible to achieve more sales? It's not. We need to do both. But if we only sell it to existing customers and we are not allowed to attract new customers, then there's no way our sales will increase. In the best scenario, the sales will be the same, will not increase. In the worst scenario, if some of our customers leave us to our competitor, then our revenue, our sales will decrease, right? But of course, I'm being extreme. It's all hypothetical. But even if you don't do first strategy at all, but only do second strategy, of course, this is hypothetical. I'm making an extreme case to make my point clear. It's not very realistic. But even if we lose every customer we ever had, but if we get more new customers, then the customer we lose, then we'll still make more money. Right? Of course. Okay. So that's why I'm going to go with this on this one, right? So now we made a decision. Let's focus a little bit and really develop and plan our model answer. Okay. All right. Now we decided our answer. Let's restart. So keep business successful. We are going to prioritize acquiring new customers over customer retention. Customer retention is important. I'm going to say that in my introduction, my thesis, but this is more important. Okay. All right. And you can just choose one reason if you cannot think of two reasons and say exactly what I said, 2 minutes ago. And that's a full answer if you can plan it, right? Because for business to be successful, definition of successful business is making more profit. To make more profit, you have to generate more revenue and you need to reduce the cost if possible. So the most fundamentally important thing is creating as much sales as possible. And using this strategy allows you to have a chance to make more sales, to make more profit. But even though customer retention is great, it's cost effective, and it's a good strategy, but if you are only focusing on this without getting new customers, there's no way you're going to increase your revenue, or you have a very small chance. All right? And then you could stick a example, right? For example, very big and reputable companies like Amazon or Apple, okay? These companies are being successful for a long time because they have a lot of existing customers. They may be able to survive, I don't know, but they may be able to survive with keep selling to existing customers. But these huge companies never keep trying to get new customers. They do a lot of different marketing campaigns. They do a lot of new promotion to continue to get new customers to increase their sales, because that's what business should do. Although keeping their existing customers and keep selling to them is important. To increase overall sales, you must look for new customers all the time. Answer finished. Okay. So if you just wanted to use that one reason, you could have developed something like that. Okay. So I have two reasons. So let me show you at least. I thought of it. I prepared. So first reason, I'm going to say something like that. So any way possible, like it's all same meaning. Okay. So you could say, for business to be successful, you need to generate more sales. You can start something like that as a topic sentence, or the most important thing for the business to generate more sales. And second strategy, or acquiring new customers, is more important to achieve that goal. Or for business to be successful, companies should attempt to make more sales. Okay? Something like that. All of that essentially are the exactly same meaning. All right? So company must increase their sales to keep being successful. Something like that. Okay? Right? I'm going, same meaning. I'm going to write a bit simpler because this is the post. Okay? So I'm going to say something like business. I'm going to purposely make it a little bit more conceptual and general, so I can like work from my topic sentence to make it a little bit more specific, and then make more sentences out of my topic sentence. Okay. So I will say, same meaning, business must create more sales, same meaning, must grow. Then I can define what growth is in business, and then I can develop it step by step. It's a clever way, right? Business must grow to be successful. That's what business need to achieve. So in business, business growth happens, results, or means when you are making more sales, when you're making more revenue. Okay. So in order to make more sales, okay, you must try to get more new customers. If this is your real goal, you should not just focus on this, right? You should focus on this to achieve this goal. Okay. So that's pretty much it. You can use the example that I have just given you, like huge company, very, very big company like Amazon or Apple. They may have millions of customers, but trying to make more sales, trying to be more successful to achieve business growth, even those companies are looking for new customers all the time. Okay. Something like that. Or we have two reasons. So that's, I have what as like my thesis, but my body paragraph should also have what, why, how to make my structure absolutely complete. So I have what for my first body paragraph. So this is why one from the whole structure. Okay. So after realizing I'm in Y1, so first body paragraph, I regard this sentence as what, okay? What for my body one. So I need why, right? So the reason is business growth means you need to make more sales, okay? Until here is why, right? To support that. And how this can be achieved. More sales can be achieved when you are finding more new customers and sell it to them rather than just keeping your current customers, right? So we have what, why, how done. And since I have two reasons, I can stop there. Otherwise, my answer will become too long. I mean, there's no such thing as too long, but you know what I mean. Okay, this is enough. And the second reason is, let's talk about some negatives of, we thought about the positives of what we have chosen. Let's think about the negative of what we have not chosen. Then this can be our second reason. Okay. So what's real bad about choosing this? Let's exaggerate. And not doing this at all and only choosing this. What is the risk? What is the danger? Think about it as like a business owner. You're selling something to people. Of course, because if you did not do this at all and only focus on this, and what happens if your customers go to your competitor or they don't need your product or services anymore, so they didn't go to your competitor, but they are stopped buying from you as a business, then you're screwed. You go to the bankrupt, okay? So what is the opposite of successful in business? What is fail in business? You make no sales, no money. You go to bankrupt, okay? So I'm going to say this. So it's kind of structured nicely. One general reason, one specific reason. But anyway, okay, I thought of one positive point I can explain. One negative point I can explain in order to achieve successful business. So let's do that. So second, it's very dangerous and unrealistic to expect that your existing customer will stay with you forever. Okay, right? Expect that your existing customers stay loyal to your business forever. Okay? I mean, you can write it in so many different sentences, as I showed you on my first topic sentence. You could just simply say, businesses could easily lose some, comma, if not all, some of their existing customers to their competitor. You could say that. Or even simpler, you could have said, moreover, you could lose, or you can lose some of your existing customers. Then you need a backup. Then you need a pipeline to keep the money coming in. You need new sales from new customers, of course. Okay. You rely on your existing customers too much, or even 100%. And if they leave you, then we are screwed. The business will go bankrupt. Okay. So that's my reasoning. That's my second reason. So you can write any sentences related to that if you want to use my reason. Okay. So this is really easy reason. So it's really easy to develop as well. Why? Okay. Because it's reality. No matter how hard, how well you serve them, no matter how good is your product or how much great service you give to your current customer, your customer could try out or leave you and buy from your competitors. It can happen. It's more likely to happen. Okay. Even for curiosity. Okay. Let me try this one. Okay. Or they may change their taste, change their preferences, or even worse, your competitor may come up with superior product and services than you. It's a possibility. If that happens, probably if your customer is smart, then you will lose that business. That's it. That's what, why, how, right? Okay. So I explain why this would happen and how, what will happen. Okay. As a result, or you could put example in addition, or rather than logically explaining from third person's perspective, like I have done for this task, instead of that, you can stick in an example. You can create an example. You can think of an example from real life, or if you really have to like write a novel, do it. Okay. Like when I blah, 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 right? I used Samsung's Galaxy, but I thought Apple's iPhone is a superior product because of blah, blah, blah. So I moved to Apple from Samsung, right? Something like that. Okay. Cool. So how I'm going to, okay. So it's realistic that business can lose some, if not all, of their current customer. Why does this happen? Because maybe competitors, this would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Competitors come up with better product and services, or simply customers may change their preferences or even curiosity. Who knows? We don't know, but this can happen and this will happen in reality. So we need to be careful. We cannot just rely on our loyal customers too much. That's not a smart business strategy. Okay? Yeah. I mean, we have what, why, how here. What, why, how here. So yeah, this question, very simple. So I'll give a full what, why, how. So I'll get the full score. I won't kind of intentionally make an example because I don't need to. I already explained. But if you really want to put an example because you feel that that's more detailed and this is a test, so I want to do everything right to get the perfect score as possible, then, I would personally put that Amazon example in here, okay, or Samsung Galaxy mobile phone to Apple iPhone here. Okay, so you experience as you try to type it. If you explain and also exemplify, then your answer is going to be way too long. All right. If you want to do like a logical general explanation plus example, consider using just one reason, okay? But do it in full. Then it could get up to anywhere from 135, 150 words to close to like 200 words, even with one reason, depending on how you write, okay? So it's up to you, but I recommend you explain or give an example as a way to explain your reason. That's my recommendation, but it's fine. Anyway, it's fine. You get the perfect score if you are able to write what I explained without too much grammar mistakes and technical mistake. In terms of development and contents and structure, is perfect. Okay? So last step, we got everything down, and I'll show you my final answer, model answer, and we'll try to match them up with the notes we have created now. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like, I know how to do this, but there's no point like just showing off like I'm able to write a full answer. I need to show you that you can do it too, exactly the way I do it. So the best way to demonstrate is hopefully show my final answer on one side and show my notes on the other side. And hopefully I can show you that this sentence came from this note, and you can do it too on the test day. All right. So let's move on to the final step. Let's go, guys. All right. Let's finish this off. So I already explained first sentence. All right, let's finish this off. First sentence, I already explained. Although customer retention is important for businesses, I believe that acquiring new customers should be prioritized for companies to succeed in the long term, thrive in the long term, to be prosperous, to continue to be prosperous in the long term. All right. As I told you, okay, so I'm going to say, although focusing on existing customer is an important strategy, I think it is more important to focus on acquiring new customers for the businesses to be successful. Okay. Full mark. Answer the question. First reason, business must grow to be successful. Okay, business must increase their overall sales to stay successful. Okay, first of all, business must grow to stay successful. Topic sentence. Okay, what does this mean? Business growth is achieved when companies increase their overall sales. So how? So we need to acquire new customers to keep making more sales, right? To grow. To achieve growth, businesses should acquire new customers to increase their revenue, their overall sales. We can finish it here if you want it concise, okay? However, solely, see, I also exaggerated a little bit, like Paul, to make my point clearer and perhaps a little more persuasive. Okay. However, solely relying on their existing customers is not likely to achieve business growth for companies. Okay. Or you could have written same meaning, solely relying on their existing customers is not going to increase their overall sales at all. Okay. So this part and this part is written. And also I wrote one more sentence by putting however, okay? Same thing is not going to be achieved if you just focus on existing customers. Let me scroll down a little bit. Moreover, I wrote here, we wrote together, it's dangerous and unrealistic to expect our loyal customers to buy from our business forever. Okay. We could lose our existing customers. Okay. Moreover, it is dangerous and unrealistic to expect that the current customers, existing customers, will keep buying from us forever. Okay. Will stay loyal forever. Okay. They might go to our competitors. They may shop around. We might lose our business, right? So this means why? Businesses it will happen. It's a possibility. Can lose some of their customers to competitors due to various reasons. Let me be specific, including other competitors, better products and services, superior products and services, or simply customers change in preferences, right? They may just change their mind. Okay? This kind of naive expectation, so I'm emphasizing here, I'm making a strong language to try to make my point persuasive. So I said expectation that your existing customer will keep buying from our business forever. That expectation is unrealistic and dangerous. That's what I said in my topic sentence. So to link it, to relate it as a paragraph conclusion, I'm saying because this expectation is unrealistic and dangerous, I'm calling it's naive. Okay? It's naive expectation. This kind of naive expectation, my topic sentence, could seriously hurt our businesses by creating a reason for a reduction, decrease in total sales, total revenue. We discussed this already when we were brainstorming, right? For business, purpose of the business is to make profit. Sounds very cold, but that's actual definition, as you know, okay? The whole point of business existence is to create profit. That is the purpose of business, right? Because otherwise, business will disappear. Okay? If it go bankrupt, that business won't be able to survive, then you'll never see them ever again. Okay? So this is unrealistic and dangerous because you could lose your customers to other competitors for various reasons, including Therefore, this kind of naive expectation could seriously hurt businesses. So you should not just adopt keeping your existing customer strategy. You should also adopt acquiring new customers. And more than that, I think acquiring new customer is a more important strategy, okay? By causing a decrease in total sales, which is the worst thing can happen to any businesses, okay? Fine, that's done. So there'll be still already over 130 words, I think. Let me tell you, I did count the word count to tell you. I wrote a conclusion here. You don't really need it. You think you're out of time or you wrote it perfectly. You have a strong thesis. Then you don't have to have a conclusion, okay? Because you already said it and it's just a post. And also, if you think your answer is too long, it's getting like too long for your liking, then just get rid of this conclusion, right? Okay. Therefore, to stay successful, I believe businesses should prioritize acquiring new customers over focusing on serving their existing customers. So I mentioned it once again to make it perfectly clear. No mistakes can ever be made. I cannot get any reduction in score. So if you write something like this for this question, you will definitely get the perfect score. Okay. And to tell you, this was exactly 151 words, including the conclusion sentence, which you can take out. It will not affect your final score. Okay. So that's it, guys. Another question, TOEFL writing question 2, type of question, writing for an academic discussion, done and dusted, perfectly explained. I hope you liked it and you feel that you learned something valuable from watching this lecture. So, once again, obviously, thank you very much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. That's the whole reason why I'm able to keep making this video and put it up on my YouTube channel. So please support me. And also, if it's beneficial for you, then keep watching these videos and learn, improve, and get that TOEFL score that you're looking for. I'm here to help you. Thank you, guys. That's it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.